So it's Saturday morning, and what we're doing right now is we're getting the engine prepped to test fit in the frame for the first time. George is taking off the Kickstarter, right, George?
Yep.
All right, you gotta probably take that bolt the whole way out, and then that'll slide right off. And we're gonna take this forward reverse shifter off and set the frame up, and then make sure that all this fits. Even though it looks awful similar to that one, we're gonna make sure this one fits in the same hole. Know what I mean, George? That way, if we got to modify or weld anything on this, we can do it now before it's painted. Yay! Okay, put the bolt back in it so we don't lose it, and we'll set that off to the side, and kind of the same thing but different to this, okay? Alright, put you back up here. So anyway, here, real quick, physical description of what we're doing. Take one of these, or here, take one of these in each hand. Okay, these are your cables.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not going to hold tight, but you know, keep your hands close to you. Like, hold tight to these, but keep your hands close to you. See, now, if I push on this cable, your hand doesn't move, right? Okay. But if I pull on it, it moves.
So it's gonna make it so it pulls whenever you push.
Well, what you're gonna have to have is pretend. Well, I'll show you in a minute, but hold those hands back up. See, if I pull on this one right now, pretend like your hands clicked into that position. Okay. Well, hold on. Actually, a better one would be go like this. Now hold that too. Okay. Now hold that back there where you are. Alright. I can't, if I pull on this one, okay, your hand just clicked in, okay. If I let go, I push with this one, it doesn't do anything. So I gotta pull this one, so like let it pull through your hand, let it pull through your fingers a little bit. So it pulls it back the other way. One pulls this way, one pulls this way. You get it? So that's kind of what's going on here. We're going to have two cables, okay, one on either side, and you're going to have
like two different things.
And well, you're going to have one thing, but it's going to hook two cables to it. So the cables will.
That looks like a pulley.
It kind of is. So the cables are going to come. Well,
I don't know why, it just does.
What we're going to do is we're going to put this blanket down for two reasons.
Dig it up on the ground, getting it in.
Come to this side, because you're not going to fit in through here, okay?
Okay.
1,
2.
Okay.
Can I go around now?
Yep. You pick up all slide forward. There we go. All right, now we're gonna. Ooh, that actually went really easy. Alright, get that top bolt out of that one, along with there's a spacer in the middle. We're blocking the camera. Second off is, what we're going to do, well, we're going to have to put it through here first. I'm going to pick it up. You try to slide the bolt. We just want to get it started into here, okay? And then you're going to put the spacer in, okay? Put the spacer in here. Then we're going to slide it the rest of the way through. And then we're going to try to get it through this side, okay? Look into the hole. Oop, 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 there. All right. Put the thing in. You might have to back it up just a little bit. Your bolt or something. Oh, there you go. All right, see if we can slide it through that.
Bolt does not want to move.
All right. Hold on. Let's get a little tappy. Tap, tap, tappy. Oh, hold on, don't hit the case. All right, wait. Wait. All right, go ahead. Okay, try to get your bar straight. It should come right through.
This bar's not straight.
Oh. All right, hold on. Tap it. All right. Hold on. Tap it. Ta-da! So we got a little bit of happy news and a little bit of sad news. The happy news is this front mount, perfect, exactly the same as the old one. No issues whatsoever. The bad news is the rear mount, there is not enough glue in the world to make that work. You know what I mean? Because even if it did, it's really high. So if we got it bolted up, we'd only have about yay much adjustment. So we're gonna have to re-engineer it. And yeah, George, I'll give you a hand. But let's see if the old one, if we can rescue it. Okay? Hold on. So this bracket does not fit at all. No matter which way you turn it, it does not fit, and it doesn't line up with this bracket. This one, which is bent, lines up. I mean, we could probably get it to line up over here. See what I mean? But it's too tall. And also, I think this should be kind of centered over it, so this is not far enough. So
the bolt seems to be bent. Oh,
yeah, the bolt seems to be bent.
Oh, I think that the bolt went on.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna have to make our own. And actually, what would be a better idea, I think, instead of cutting this off, is to take a piece of tubing and go out over to here. And then drill a hole through that, so that way you have a piece of tubing coming off here, George, and that'll give us a little more height, and we'll be able to adjust more. So that'll raise this up some, and then we'll make one of these two brackets work through some chop, cut, grind, weld, stab, drill, you know.
That grinder
See what we get.
Still sticking in this ring.
Well, we can finish prepping it for paint. It's in the rough form, buddy. This is where making a project work gets aggravating, and you lose interest because it gets confusing. It gets tedious. It gets really, really tedious. So I'm not sure exactly how much of that footage we're going to keep. George, you're going to demonetize me. Anyway, here's what we come up with so far. I know I only have one bolt on this side, but this will go through the mount, and this bolt will go the whole way through, and then we're going to put like some sort of a spacer here. I'm thinking.
Show them my cut that I did?
Yeah, I'll show them your. Come on over. And then we'll weld this onto here, which gives me plenty of adjustability, so I can adjust it up and down. We're gonna have to weld this on. George cut the screw. The other screw was bent and stripped, so we cut it off of this bracket, and George cut it off of the other bracket, and you can see right there he barely nicked the edge. I mean, I didn't even file that, and he cut this one off so flush that if I take this nut off, or let's loosen it up anyway, it'll actually stand perfectly square on its own. Like when I weld that, nobody's gonna know that anything ever happened, George. It's like that was so spectacularly good.
That's what happens after working on a Pinewood Derby car. Using a machine for a while.
Practicing with machines, yep. But anyway, I'm gonna get this blanket covered most of it. And then I'm gonna tack this in and make sure it works. Actually, I might wait till we come back to tack it. But yeah, we'll stop at Lowe's real quick and get some more bolts and stuff. Hopefully get a long bolt, and I'll need a piece of tubing that we can use as a spacer. Probably another piece of pipe, just a spacer. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like it. And the spacer's just to keep this from sliding back and forth like this. It's not actually to prevent the crush, because these are pretty stout brackets. They're not going to pinch very easily. We're not going to torque it to 1 billion foot-pounds. But yeah, yep. All right.
This is why you keep the old engine before throwing it out, because it might have parts that you need.
Yeah, when you start a project, you don't throw out all the old stuff until you're 100% done with it. Because we've already robbed pieces off of this. And we might rob some more. I don't know. I'll probably keep the starter and some stuff. But yeah. And I'm not sure. We'll have to research getting a new spline sprocket. Alright. Off to Lowe's.
Yep. That came out good.
Yeah, I guess not too bad.
The only problem that I see is nothing. It's nothing.
Give me an adjustable wrench real quick, because I'm gonna... Alright, so I've hit a crazy snafu. I got the old engine back in here. Me and George just put it in. What I noticed was the spline drive output on this engine is pretty much centered on this bracket. The spline drive output on the new engine, because it has reverse in it, is all the way over here. So, unfortunately, this bracket might have to be modified, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get George back out here. We're going to put this spacer back and clamp it, because this is the old engine. I'm going to put a bar here, or a piece of metal or something across here, and we're going to weld it. So that'll fixate these points. And then what we're going to do is take this back out, and I'm going to put the new engine in, but I'm going to move like everything, like this breather and everything, over here to this side. Okay, and then this is going to go to this side of the frame, and then this is going to actually go a little further away. Okay, follow me so far? We're going to shift the whole kit and caboodle over. I just don't see another good way to do it. These flanges on the axle are welded, so I can't change those. And even if I did, I need like 3 inches. I only have about 1.5 inches between those two flanges, so even if I moved it over, I wouldn't be able to move it over far enough. By the way, this flange here is my sprocket. I stripped the whole axle down. This flange here is for my sprocket. This flange here is for my disc brake. So the thing I'm worried about is if I move the sprocket over that far, it's going to crash into my disc brake and in my brakes, and then I'm going to have to keep on, like, I'm just going to keep chasing my tail, where if I move this over, it should all work. Technically, it might be a little bit more lean that way, like as far as balance, but I mean, realistically, that whole engine weighs maybe 50 pounds at the most. And if you put, you know, a 200-pound adult just in one side, you're going to be even more off balance than you are by me shifting this engine over. I think that's the plan of attack we're going to go for. Alright. Alright. Mock-up. Still in mock-up. I welded in a little brace right here for these two so they don't too much. But I think this is going to work. Moving the engine over was definitely the right call. We still have some room to adjust. If anything, I think we're a little too far over. Okay? So, what we got going on here, if George will come on in here and I'll take a look. We're going to have to remodify some stuff, but we need some pieces. One thing is, if anything, I think we're almost too far over now. This black mark was the end, was where this face was before. So everything you see here, like this flat surface here, used to be right here. So it shifted over that far. Matter of fact, this bracket used to hang and down like over top of this instead of to the side like it does now. But what I'd like to do for this, and I might modify this one a little bit where I might incorporate the other piece so that you know, it has a reach over into here. But for all intents and purposes, I think it would even work if we just put one bolt in, because that's all that held the old engine. Up front here, we're going to have to zoom out a little bit. Alright, good job, George. Alright, what we're going to do is, I think instead of running spacers, I'm just going to get one piece of all thread. I think these are 10mm bolts. I'll have to look. One big piece of all thread, and then we'll twist it in. Maybe I'll weld a nut on one side, but we'll twist it in. And as we're twisting it in, we'll put nuts like here, 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 and there. And then that way we can fine tune and adjust this whenever we do our final assembly. So we can actually shift the engine left or right a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So does that sound good, George?
Yeah.
We have more room to go left or right. This right here is against right now, which I'm probably not real happy about, but at the same fact is, all this is a breather. So until we wear, until we wear a hole in it, we'll be fine. And if worse come to worse, we could put another one on. I think this even gives us more room for our exhaust. Our exhaust will come out the side.
And also, that's made out of rubber, so.
Well, it'll eventually, like, the vibrations might wear on it. But even if it wears a hole, we just get a new one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, wow, did that move over a ton. As a matter of fact, if we put this up, I'm willing to bet. Where's that?
The axle?
No, this piece. This didn't even fit over before. But right now, yeah, technically, I mean, it's got to go like kind of like this. Like this bracket goes into there, but we could put that on and have room to spare. You know what I mean? That shows you how much more clearance we have now. You know what I mean, George?
Yeah.
I think that was That was a moment of wonderful inspiration. What do you think?
Yeah. And I also started a fire 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
A couple minutes ago, I can't tell because...
George is burning the place down. We'll probably get a piece of all thread for this too. And that should cure up most of the problems. We could even stick it through from the other side, twist a nut on so that we have nuts between here and here. And maybe one to here that just, you know, hold it. But yeah, I like that a lot. You know what that means, George? You know what time it is?
To end?
End for today, but what time is it going to be tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
What are we going to do?
Go watch a movie? Other than that...
Well, on the go-kart, what are we going to do?
Oh, paint it.
Probably starting to paint, because, you know, I'll give you this. You can fine-tune it a little bit. I got some welding work to do on this one, and some more fabrications, but yeah, I think we're ready for paint.
Oh, I haven't... Me and Mom haven't started cleaning the seats yet, if possible. When is that possible?
After paint, we actually got to take the bracketry off the bottom of it, and paint that as well.
Okay. Is that all?
I think so, and I'm pretty pleased with it. So we're finally into the famous painting stage of the project, right, George? All right.
No, it's not gonna be brown.
Nope, it's primer. But it's going to be brushed. That makes it easier for touch-ups. All right. George is going to continue this, and I'm going to work on a little bit of welding. Good deal. So we had a painting catastrophe. What happened was the paint never dried. This green paint, it's Krylon tintable paint. We might have to add a hardener, but we had to get rid of all the old paint. So we tried grinding it off. That just clogged up all the grinding wheels. Can't sand it because it's soft. Use some paint thinner or not paint thinner, paint stripper, and it did some of the job, but we got a different plan. But the first thing we got to do to get this paint off is we're going to knock out these bushings. So go ahead and give her a whack. Yep, see? And just like that, we got a bushing. All right, we'll catch up here in a little bit. George, we're going to flip it over and do the other one.
Here's what Dad's plan is of getting rid of the paint.
So, I got it hung back up. Little guy went off to camp for the week. I'm going to go ahead and primer it, mostly because I don't want to just flash rusting up. And I know that wasn't a very perfect method of doing this, but it works for this. I wouldn't use that method on that. But for what this is, I got to keep in the back of my mind, this is a go-kart. It's something that he's going to have fun with and bounce off some rocks and probably get all dinged up anyway. But I'm going to go ahead and brush on primer again. I went over it with some, I don't know, 120 grit just to knock the scale off. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it'll be good enough for what it is. And even though he's at camp and I told myself I wouldn't work on it without him, I feel that I owe him this because I'm the one that led to the disaster, well, unintentionally, with the Krylon paint not working. This is what we used. I should mention that. This Krylon tintable enamel, direct to metal, even though we are using a primer. But, well, maybe I should try that. Maybe I will. Maybe the primer is what screwed it up. I think I'm going to try and add a little bit of hardener to it too, and see if that changes anything. Maybe that's the problem. That paint doesn't go well over other stuff. It does say direct to metal. Rust tough. Yeah, let's give that a try. We'll give it a stab. Alright? Let's see what happens. Alright, it's a bright, sunshiny day. George, show them what we've been up to the last 2 days that I didn't videotape because it's been somewhat exceedingly boring.
So, the green paint did not harden all the times that we put it on. So we put in hardener in it so it would harden.
And did it turn out good?
Yeah, it turned out good. You can't leave well, you can't really leave a print in it. The black we painted turned out good too. There are a bunch
Watch grabbing a hold of it. I just painted that.
It's dry already.
Alright, well, still, we don't...
Black paint.
Yeah, I know. But, yeah, are you happy with how the black turned out?
I'm excited. Oh, should I tell them?
No, we'll save that for a surprise for later.
Well, we painted these blacks so far.
Yeah, we got the wheels, half the wheels painted. We'll paint the other half tonight, and then we're going to let this sit for a couple days. Because we're going to go on a family vacation anyway, right?
Yep.
And then we will get the rest of it painted, and we will start reassembly. Are you excited?
Yeah.
This project's taken a lot longer than we planned, didn't it?
It might take maybe 2 videos, maybe 3.
Well, this will be already the 3rd video, George.
Oh, so.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah. Just keep on keeping on. I like the Rust-Oleum definitely better than the Krylon. Just saying.
Isn't the Rust-Oleum the paint that doesn't have a lot of colors, but it's amazing?
Yeah, that's what we use for the primer and the black on both.
And it doesn't have a lot of colors.
Nope. No, well, it doesn't have a lot of greens anyway. Only one shade of green from Rust-Oleum.
I love how the green came out.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Alright, pack it up. And there's been even more painting going on inside. These are the front A-arms, and they are in primer, and we are getting ready. What do you say? You want to brush paint these green too while we're up here? I think the primer looks dry. I think we can put a coat of green on this.
Sure.
Alright.
Wouldn't that make us close to be...
So I've been doing some trailer maintenance, but I just got to show you this. Little dude's inside eating supper, but my goodness! Oh, it's going to make me so sad whenever he runs it through the woods for the first time. Oh, and George just mentioned, I forgot to bring up, we spray painted these black. These were yellow, so they'll look pretty good.
What about the newer ones?
And because I melted the old shocks,
We got... that has a metal thing that... Oh, wait. What is the metal thing?
the canister, that's for adjusting the dampening effect. How fast they go up in and out. And they're height adjustable.
We're really close to finishing. We're close to assembly.
We're closing in on assembly. Alright.
And closer to putting in the engine for the last time.
First time, for the last time, yeah. For the last time, for the first time. Alright. Well, let me get my brush going. Alright, George, what are we doing?
Hydro dipping.
Hydro dipping what?
My wheels.
Oh, so what colors we got?
Green and black.
Even though Dad said white would look better against the black wheels, we are going to go and experiment with black and green. The green is not a perfect match, but it's the best we can do with spray cans. George, show them how you hydro dip while your dad gets a pair of gloves on.
Okay. Yeah. What do you start with? Black. It's not really showing up that well.
You let me know when.
Okay, I think it's good now.
Think it's good now?
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna try with, oh, this one's got dirt on it. Alright, we're gonna go with this wheel first.
Oh, yeah!
And you don't see any black paint.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
Okay. Go ahead.
I did not want to do collecting. Just switch it around.
You want me to do it and you just say when?
Yeah.
Which one am I doing?
You're gonna do black now. Then
And green?
Yep.
Oop, a little too much. Black. You say when?
Yes.
That's good?
Just one more black. And then green. Okay, I think that's good.
Alright, dipping wheel number 2.
That is cool.
Wish I would have turned my camera around. Let's get rid of this. It won't matter, it's going to be under the tire anyway.
There's there's a piece of hay glue.
Alright. What do you want to start with?
Let's do green this time.
Green?
Yeah.
Say when?
That's good.
Black?
Yep. Good. Green. Black. 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 Green. Okay. Okay, that's good.
Alright, we're going to do one of the back wheels this time. Oh. Not really sure where I left the camera aligned. Alright, ready?
Yeah.
What do you start with?
Let's do green. Black. 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 Green. Black.
Say when.
That's good.
Alright. Interesting. Interesting. We hydro dip my hand too. Before I'm wearing gloves.
Do you you think the rims came out good?
I think they turned out pretty decent. I'm not gonna say that they look, I don't know, like, they look very random and they're all different. It's definitely a neat pattern. It's neat to do.
Random looks.
You know what I mean?
One thing about this is it can either come out good or terrible.
Well, looks like we're gonna have some sun for a little bit, so we'll let these dry. If it starts to look like rain, we'll have to move them in, and we might have to put a little bit of clear coat over the top. We'll see how good it adheres. You know what I mean? But I think these two are a little better than these two.
That's because they're two different sizes.
Well, and they got into the paint a lot easier, and we didn't do the green, black, green, black, green, black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we should have maybe sprayed green a little longer and then black a little longer, because like this one's kind of faded. But you know, it doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
Look.
I like this one.
You like that one best?
Yeah, that one has the most design in it.
Well, that's just it with this. You never know what you're gonna get with designs.
Do you think I chose a good idea for hydro dip? Do you think it was a good idea to hydro dip these?
I think it'll make them very unique. You'll never see another set.
That's what I wanted to do. Make it unique with him.
It'll be a shame to put lug nuts on them because we might scratch up some of the paint.
Yeah.
All right, let's pack it in. So, we've been camping a lot the last couple weeks. And I actually meant to end this video and work on it at camp. But unfortunately, well, fortunately, unfortunately, got so busy having fun that I forgot to film anything. So, I think this is a good enough spot to end it. This video, anyway. And we will pick up on the next video. Putting this big old thing back together. It's come a very long way. It's been a lot of work. And my hat's off to my son. He has stuck with it. I told him this would be a very long journey if we went as far as he wanted to. But hey, some of the results speak for themselves. This is going to be cool. Alright, hope you like it. Stick around. And we'll move on to the next part of the build series as soon as we get back from yet another camping trip. Tent camping, camper camping. Now we're going to Gettysburg. I love it. Then we got a special trip planned after that, but I think everything's just about painted. One or two items probably still need done, but yep. And today will probably be a great day for editing videos, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to edit up this video, post it, and see you guys when it comes time for reassembly.